Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. I hope you're doing well. It's been quite some time since I directly talked to the camera, so that still feels a little bit weird, but I have some pretty exciting news to share, which I wanted to tell you directly. So again, if you're new here, I am working as a graphic designer and artist, but this YouTube channel is mainly for my artistic work. And at the beginning of this year, I finally opened up my online shop for my art and handmade pieces. And during that process, I thought that it may be a good idea to ask in suitable physical shops if they have the opportunity to take some of my postcard designs into their assortment. First, I chose to send out a lot of emails, but unfortunately a lot of those emails remained unanswered, so that meant that I have to ask in person, which was a challenge for me, to be honest, and it's also quite time consuming, especially in Berlin, because you have to drive and walk around a lot. But turns out asking in person always works a lot better, shocker. And now that I've experienced that a lot of the people I talked to reacted in a very kind and supportive, or at least positive way, made it a lot easier for me to go and ask in person. So I'm very grateful for that. Still, a lot of the shops didn't have the opportunity to take me into their assortment, but I finally found a very cool, beautiful, well, and definitely with love curated bookstore, which is led by a very cool and kind woman who decided to take 2 of my postcard designs into her bookstore next to the work of other amazing artists. She wanted to take one of my latest motifs, Stars Fell, and this digital illustration I did a couple of years back, I think. I really can't wrap my head around that you can find these postcards in an actual physical shop. I have to say, no matter if the shops had the opportunity or wanted to take my work into their assortment, I really appreciate when shops in general support the work of artists. I think that's so cool and so kind and very valuable for artists, because now people who don't know me already have the possibility to find me, and that in turn means a lot of potential to me. Yeah, let's see how it goes, but I wanted to share it, and I think I mentioned the idea to ask in shops in some video 1.5 years ago, I think. So this update came very related, but at least you've got a follow-up, and it's a positive one, so yeah. So we have a few weeks later, and another shop took 2 of my postcards. I've been visiting my parents very recently, and also some friends in my study town Aachen. And 2 friends of mine recommended this one shop to me, which also sells handmade things from different artists. So of course I had to go and ask. And yeah, she wants to take 2 postcards. The shop owner takes 20 of each. And unfortunately I forgot to film before I packed everything, but these are the postcards and a little envelope with other postcards, just as a little thank you for the shop owner. I also noticed that shop owners tend to have more of an eye for those type of illustrations or motifs, which I totally get. I think from a commercial point of view, those are motifs that a broader range of people can connect to, and My other paintings have a very particular style, so of course that's not for everyone. So I think those type of motifs tend to do better in shops, which is totally fine, and I'm definitely not complaining. It's just something that I noticed, but they don't feel as representative of my work because I've drew these illustrations quite some time ago and I really like them. They reflect a part of me and I feel connected to them, but this is not my main type of work, so per definition they can't represent all of my work. And I have all of my information at the back of the postcard so people have the chance to find me and all of my work as well, so that's totally fine. In my latest video you saw me painting this small painting here in my sketchbook, and today I thought maybe it could be cool to take a big sheet of paper and to separate it in small little sections in a similar size with washi tape so that I can paint a series. I imagine little abstract landscape paintings, and every painting will have its own color scheme with colors that make each other pop very well. And I can also imagine that it could probably be something very cool to offer in my shop as mini originals, which will also be more affordable due to its size and due to the fact that they are not very complex and time-consuming paintings, I guess. Let's see, but I will decide on that later on. For now, I'm going to start painting, I guess. I've been actively working on the things that block me creatively for a long time now and have realized something the other day, and I thought maybe it will help someone else to hear this too. So, I am not truly creative only after painting a nice new painting, because creativity is more like a way of being or existing and therefore always present. There is creativity in the way I operate and function in life, how I solve problems, how I perceive things and relate to them. It is in how I design my environment, how I choose to decorate and express myself, in how I feel, in my empathy, and in what I feel inspired by. Also in all the other things I create outside of painting but tend to forget about or simply discredit. When I allow myself to be more playful, I realize how good it feels to feel inspired by quote-unquote mundane things like star-shaped glitter stickers that I can't go past in the art supply store, or even when I'm making super cheesy teddy charms. I am creativity, and so are you. What also helped me was the book The Artist's Way, which is a 12-week course against creative blocks. As I mentioned in another video, there are also many spiritual aspects in this book, and spirituality is not my thing, and if I had known beforehand that it would play a role in the book, I probably wouldn't have bought it due to preconceptions, but the book is written in such a way that you don't have to believe in a higher power or anything like that for the book to work for you, and I'm really glad I read it and worked through it. I'm not completely free of creative blocks yet. I think there is still a lot in my inner world that I need to deal with, but I would definitely recommend that book, especially because I think it offers a good start and a good basis for dealing with yourself and the topic around creativity. I found a good and short summary in the Q&A section in the back of the book that does a better job of describing the content and purpose of the book than I can. Okay, so the question is, how does this book free people to be more creative? The primary purpose and effect of The Artist's Way is to put people in touch with the power of their own internal creativity. The book frees people to be more creative in many different ways. First, it helps dismantle negative mythologies about artists. Second, it helps people to discover their own creative force, access it, and express it more freely. Third, it provides people with an awareness about their self-destructive behaviors and allow them to see more clearly what the impediments on their own individual path might be. Finally, the book helps people identify and celebrate their desires and dreams and make the plans to accomplish them. It teaches people how to support and nurture themselves, as well as how to find others who will support them in fulfilling their dreams. So this year I stumbled into the new campaign for the Deutsche Oper Berlin as a model by chance. It wasn't about me being photographed specifically, but about someone posing there. And I know someone from the design agency and they needed people for the campaign. And since I'm actually totally uncomfortable being photographed, I thought, okay, do something out of your comfort zone. But when I agreed to it, I somehow didn't realize the extent of the whole thing, because in the end, it's so surreal to see yourself on a billboard, even if no one recognizes you. But in the end, I'm glad I did it, and it's kind of funny, I think. Here comes a small reminder that a lot of the times skills have less to do with talent than with a lot of practice. These are my very pretty attempts to draw stylized cats just from my imagination, and I don't think there is a further explanation needed. I mean, what is that? Ugly, but at least he has character, I think. Yeah, it's so weird, he looks more a human than like a cat. Yeah, as I said, it's all practice. Okay, so now I'm signing off for today. Thank you so much if you are still here and chose to spend your time with me. I really hope to see you in my next one as well. And if you wish to continue to keep me company on my artistic journey, then consider subscribing to the channel. And I wish you a nice rest of your day. Goodbye.